Music Production.
Yo, squad, what's poppin'? All right, so we're gonna get into this video here. I'm gonna go over the crypto ETF that I've been covering for a pretty decent while now. So right off the hop, before I get into any technical analysis, before I get into any like deep diving here, I'm gonna bring this up. So if you're looking at these names and you're thinking this is an interesting opportunity, you have to decide like now, right? Before you get into any of these stocks, even if you're in them, reevaluate what your plan is, right? And think, what am I doing and what am I trying to achieve, right? What is my plan? Am I long-term investing, or am I just throwing the dice trying to see if these numbers are going to go higher, okay? So, what's going to be involved in this plan, right? Well, you have to know what price you're going to get in, what price you want to exit if you're wrong, and then you want to know what price you're going to exit if you're right. Like, these are the three most basic things that you need to understand and know it thoroughly. Because, for example, right, if you don't go into this with a plan, you're just going to get in, and then if it goes lower, and say it goes down 30% lower, you're going to be like, oh shit, I just lost 30%, I'm selling. And then you sell, and then over time you're going to watch it go way above that price, and then you're going to be like, oh my god, like, why didn't I just hold it? So before you dive in, what do you want to do? Do you want to collect some of these long term? Because again, right, all these, this crypto ETF, it's literally based around how well Bitcoin is performing. So if Bitcoin decides to take a slump buster and just, it underperforms for the next few months, because it's possible. It's not like just, we can't just rule that out. Of course it's possible. If that happens, these names are going to take a hit. Are you okay with that, right? Or are you going to take advantage of the long-term opportunity, make a plan and say, I'm going to get some shares here. If it goes lower, I'm going to get more shares here. If it goes lower, I'm going to get more shares here. So you could structure how do you even say that word, structurally, whatever, you could like do it in a way where it's smart, right? You can manage your risk in a smart way. And again, right, that's the most key thing when it comes to investing, because I'm telling you right now, most people I talk to, this is what they do. They buy it in, it goes up, and then because they didn't have a plan, they're like, oh, this is going to go to the moon, and then it comes back down and they're like, oh my god, like it's going to go lower, so they sell. But like, there's so many psychology things you want to understand. So that is what I'm going to like rant on a bit. But here we go, right into the TA. So Glxy, right? Major point in the chart. Like, we could delete a bunch of these lines. We couldn't hold this major range from 1587 to 2026. That was a major range. But it looks like right now we are at our support once again. This is where we're at. So again, I put this on log chart, and I think the exact same things about as I've always thought. I'm still bullish, and the price where I'm going, like I'm adding even more, is going to be around there. So I'll be watching how it plays if we do get back down to this 783 area. But if we're playing this from a risk reward perspective trade, this is a beauty spot. You can cut your losses real short here, right? Make it like a small trade, like where the downside is low, for a pretty decent upside. The chart has given us this opportunity quite a few times, right? So again, don't take this as a trade idea or any financial advice. This is me breaking down the chart from a technical perspective and what I see from it. Overall, I love the name long term. You guys already know that. Defi here. So we want to hold this spot right here. We're back at that support range. This 120 zone is going to be important in the next few weeks to see if we develop a base. Earnings coming up too soon. HUT, again, right? That's why I mentioned this at the very beginning of the video. Look at this chart. It's back at levels I was at in 2018 almost. And now is when you need to ask yourself, am I in this for a long-term trading opportunity? Which means it would probably net you way more than just a quick trade. distinguish that and then make the plan and execute it. Hive, excuse me, Hive, very similar chart to Glxy, but in my opinion, we're just in a range right now. Up, down, up, down, up, down, right? This is an equilibrium trend. Are we either in a accumulation or distribution phase? That is something we'll have to figure out, right? I do see the bear volume, like it's very persistent and it's consistent, but it's not like we have massive spikes signifying that we're just going to fall out. We do lose this range though, and then it's got quite a ways to go down. So we could look at this as, again, a quick risk to reward opportunity, or you could decide long term, where am I looking at this chart? 57 cents, that would be like, man, if this chart came down to 57 cents, I'm loading the boat again. This, like, how many times are they going to do that shit, you know? But overall, this is what we're looking at. Mara. So this chart, it's already starting to, you know, like, we could drag that out. It's had a long support. A lot of these names look like this. Now this one's starting to break below. Where could we potentially go to? I'd be looking at this area right here, this $10 area, and expect to see somewhat of a bounce. Remind yourselves also, right? Very reliant on Bitcoin. All these charts, very reliant on Bitcoin. We need to see what is the reaction of Bitcoin and the rest of crypto going to be like to help carry these names a little bit higher. Overall markets right now, it's been tough this year. 2022 has been a tough year. So we got Bitfarms. Chart looks interesting. Major support right here. Are we going to hold? This is the question. So again, that's why at the beginning of this video, you know, you make this plan. The risk to reward trade is here, but also if we go lower, are you going to take your losses? Or is it a part of your bigger plan to add because it's a long-term investment? What's your plan? You got to make it. So then we got SI here. This is the one that's interesting. We're still holding this trend line. Something's telling me, like, why is this name holding up but the rest aren't? Which is interesting to me. Nice beat on earnings recently. But I like how this one's holding this trend line. This is the most different chart out of all of them. So I'll be watching this more closely because it could be potential, and again, I could be wrong on this, but this could be indicating some sort of upside, right? That this is the name, one of the names that are holding up while all the other crypto ones are, you know, they're kind of performing weaker. So this could be giving us a signal that, hey, there could be a turnaround coming soon. It just needs to be more patient. Coin. So this one's getting tight. I haven't seen this chart in a while. This is getting real tight here. I want to see a breakout come real soon. That's for sure. We want to see a pop come in real soon because it's just getting tighter and tighter. The volume's getting lower and lower. So we want to see, is this going to be a bear flag and go lower, or is this going to be the base coming in? And depending on what crypto does, we might get that pop, right? That'll be interesting. This is tokens.com, a Canadian stock with the ticker coin. This is Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is very heavily reliant on Bitcoin. And since Bitcoin's been kind of going down, this has been just shit in the bed here. So we're going to have to wait until there's some sort of a bounce, some sort of a oversold bounce, some sort of a, you know, a base coming in on the bottom, because right now it's not looking too good for Coinbase. Wndr. So again, I like Wndr as a sleeper because, in my opinion, the investors in the space, and again, once we just, maybe all these names need is that pump from crypto. And if it happens, or Bitcoin, if that happens, right, and these names do get a run, the answer will be evident and these charts will look obvious in hindsight. So it's hard to kind of practice teaching yourself how to look ahead in time and how to like prepare yourself ahead in time. But that, again, not to sound very repetitive like a broken record, but that's where making the plan and understanding support and resistance and these technicals come into play. But I do like the fundamentals behind who's running the company, and overall the chart itself is interesting. We could have a weekly bear flag though when I look at this. right? This could be a massive weekly bear flag, which might not be pretty. This would be indicating we're going lower. Boom, boom. That could indicate we might come down a little bit lower. Longer term, if this is the bear flag and we break lower, I'm going to be looking into adding shares to some of these names for long-term trades. That's the breakdown, guys. Peace.